On June 1, 2009, Air France Flight 447 vanished over the Atlantic Ocean. This Airbus A330 was carrying 228 souls from Rio de Janeiro to Paris. It was a routine flight expected to land without incident. Instead, it became one of the deadliest aviation disasters in history. The loss of Flight 447 sent shockwaves through the world. It raised serious questions about aviation safety and the limits of technology. The tragedy of Flight 447 serves as a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of air travel. It highlights the critical importance of robust safety protocols. This essay delves into the details of this tragic event. We will examine the factors that led to the crash and the lessons learned. The disappearance of Flight 447 sparked an international search effort. It took almost 2 years to recover the majority of the wreckage. The black boxes containing vital flight data and cockpit voice recordings were finally recovered. These recordings provided crucial insights into the chaotic final moments of the flight. The investigation into the crash of Flight 447 was complex and lengthy. It involved experts from multiple countries and organizations. Their findings revealed a chilling sequence of events. These events exposed vulnerabilities in both technology and human performance. Air France Flight 447 embarked on its final journey from Rio de Janeiro's Galeão International Airport. The flight was destined for Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. It was a long-haul flight over the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. The Airbus A330, a modern and technologically advanced aircraft, took off from Rio de Janeiro at 7:29 p.m. local time. It carried 12 crew members and 216 passengers. Among the passengers were citizens from 33 different countries, all eager to reach their destination. The initial hours of the flight were uneventful. The aircraft cruised at an altitude of 35,000 feet, soaring above the weather systems below. As the flight progressed, it approached a region known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ. This zone is notorious for its unpredictable and often severe weather conditions. The ITCZ is characterized by a band of low pressure that circles the Earth near the equator. It is where the trade winds of the northern and southern hemispheres meet, creating an area of intense convective activity. This often results in towering thunderstorms and heavy precipitation. The flight crew of Air France Flight 447 comprised 3 experienced pilots. Captain Marc Dubois, 58, was a veteran pilot with over 11,000 hours of flight time. He had extensive experience flying the A330. First Officer David Robert, 37, was also a highly experienced pilot with over 6,500 flight hours. He normally occupied the right seat, acting as the co-pilot. However, on this particular flight, he was in charge of monitoring the flight's progress while Captain Dubois took a rest break. First Officer Pierre Cedric Bonin, 32, was the least experienced of the 3, with around 3,000 flight hours. He was responsible for handling the aircraft's systems and communications. The crew had received extensive training on how to handle challenging weather conditions. They were well versed in the procedures for dealing with situations involving turbulence and icing. Despite their experience, the crew would soon face a series of events that would test their skills and decision-making abilities to the limit. As Flight 447 progressed further into the Intertropical Convergence Zone, the weather conditions began to deteriorate. The routine flight was about to take a turn for the worse. The first indication of trouble came when the autopilot disengaged. The autopilot disengaged because the aircraft's pitot tubes, which measure airspeed, had iced over. This is a known issue in high-altitude thunderstorms. Without accurate airspeed readings, the autopilot could no longer maintain a stable flight path. The pilots received several warnings from the aircraft systems. The warnings indicated conflicting airspeed readings and a loss of altitude. The crew was now faced with a serious situation. They needed to regain control of the aircraft and navigate through the turbulent weather. The pilots' initial reactions were confused. They struggled to understand the conflicting information from the instruments. The situation was compounded by the fact that the aircraft was experiencing significant turbulence, making it difficult to maintain control.